If you listen to the new Choppa with Norman Finkelstein, I don't want to hear anything from Norman Finkelstein that doesn't revolve around the Israeli treatment of Palestinians. I just refuse to hear when he talks about anything other than that, okay? I have a lot of respect for him, for his courage, for his bravery. He's been blackballed by academic institutions, literally in the hands of Alan Dershowitz, by the way, pedophile defender Alan Dershowitz. But everything else that he talks about, other than that, he's just such a fucking boomer, dude. I'm sorry. He is such a fucking wokeness is ruining society ass boomer, and it sucks. He's also, I think, and people get mad at me for saying this, I think he's fucking kind of wrong on Ukraine as well, as a matter of fact. Yeah. I think he identifies a little too much with Vladimir Putin from like similar backgrounds. I think like he carries the intergenerational trauma of the Holocaust and its impact on his own development. And he just, I did listen to everything he said. I don't agree with what he said. I like, there are things that I agree with him on, but I think that the way that he talks about these issues is a boomer. It sucks. It sucks to see someone that I appreciate and respect, and I will forever hold what he has done to high esteem. Okay, but he's old, and I think he's lost the plot a little bit. Norman Finkelstein is an academic that is what? Ya kitchen cabinetin üstünde olacak. Anyway, I don't even want to talk about it that much. I don't want to talk about it that much because like it's irrelevant in the grand scheme of things, and I think it like tarnishes his credibility. His positions on Israel and his academic work into Zionism are all that matter, and it's excellent work. Yes. That's it. That's it. That's like that's all I'm going to say. I mean, he's the son of Holocaust survivors, and he has spent his entire life speaking the truth about Palestinian struggle, and he has been punished thoroughly for it. Okay? He went hard at Obama. I don't even think that part is fucking unjust. He's just... It strikes me as a type of person. It strikes me as a type of person that like is unfortunately too hyper focused on like silly shit. That's it. His point about mythologizing and exaggerating the past revolt by African American slaves and Euro Jews around the Holocaust is valuable to ponder too. Oh, but that pertains to his own personal experiences. That's his analysis on like American Jews and their shifting of consciousness towards Israel and how that happened is something that is absolutely in his wheelhouse. That's why that's different. That's like very different. That's actually very informative. When I talk about anything else outside of that, like woke culture, blah, 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 like even when I'm in agreement with him, I find myself going, ugh, you know what I mean? Like he talked about how identity politics was weaponized against Bernie Sanders. He's right. Like he's right about that. He's not wrong. He is right about that. But even when the way he's describing certain matters, I'm like, oh, dude, come on. He's just very, Very old. Also, I knew that this was coming when I saw him talk to, I think it was Aaron Mate about woke culture and shit like that. He unloads way more than he did on Chapo and on other outlets. Like, I've seen it happen a lot. This takes about Ibram Kendi or base. Like, oh, that's a great example, actually. No, I don't agree. I think he goes fucking bananas mode on Ibram Kendi. Like, you can critique someone without being like, you know, almost like a fucking racist boomer about it. You know what I mean? Felix tried to make a joke that he didn't get, so then Felix didn't say another word. I know. He's not. The thing is, he's like a boomer. He's trying to be funny in some respects. And like the way he tries to, like, I guess, season or embellish his rhetoric comes across like insanely out of touch. Does that make sense? Is the same boomer shit that Revcom do with the anti-woke shit? Yeah. This is a part of that realignment that I mentioned a while back that you agree with. There's a generational split that is superseding. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, Felix knew the joke didn't hit, was afraid to jump in for the rest of the episode. Lamau, I know. Like, you can criticize Ibram Kendi's writings, right? And then you can do what he was doing, which is like, he put the X in the middle of his name to make himself seem so cool, and everyone found it so approachable. He's a race hustler. Like, come on, Norm. What the fuck are you saying, dog? Like, Jesus Christ. It's just... alternative reality Jordan Peterson. It is sad. It's sad to see someone, you know, do that. But again, you're about to get that Norm smoke now. Dude, him and fucking what's his face? They are, if he doesn't know who I am, which probably he doesn't know. He didn't even know what the fuck Chapo was. But those who do know from the old school leftists who I grew up reading and grew up loving, they fucking hate me. They think I'm a Democratic Party mouthpiece. They're like, they would much rather align with Glenn Greenwald than people like myself, except for Noam Chomsky. What's his... Yeah, it's just... No, I'm not talking about fucking Max Blumenthal, dude. What the fuck? No, that is irrelevant. That's not anywhere near what I'm talking about. No, I'm talking about fucking what's his face? Which old school leftist? It's shit, I'm forgetting his name now. God damn it. No, not Naomi Klein. No. Chris Hedges. Chris Hedges is who it was. Chris Hedges has like gone on Brianna Joy's show to be like I think the one time he tweeted about me, he just said like I was like a aesthetic. What did he say? He used a term where I was like, oh yeah, this guy hates me. It was whatever. I still respect him. Also, Norm wasn't entirely incorrect about Angela Davis, but that's all I'm going to leave that on. But like I said, there's truth to what Norm is saying, and then there's like a lot of weird shit. He called you a fuck boy, did he? Oh, here.
When people on the left there can be, I would call them accidental moments when people on the left make money. Howard Zinn, who spent years writing his great work, A People's History of the United States, never expected to make any money. Glenn Greenwald and Max Taibbi are making a lot of money on Substack. They haven't sold out. They aren't serving the idol. Most people who challenge economic
Well, he said Max Taibbi.
and political power and reigning cultural assumptions thrust themselves both into a political and economic wilderness. But those people who hold fast, and I admire Glenn, I admire Matt, and of course I admire.
It's devastating to bring up Howard Zinn with Matt Taibbi, Max Taibbi, and Glenn Greenwald. Like, that is, ooh, sheesh. This aged terribly? No, man, he aged terribly. He probably still is like riding for them, I assume.
Admire Zinn, they didn't serve the idol. And I think that's the question. If you hold fast to those moral imperatives to confront rapacious power and are willing to sacrifice for that power, then that means you may lose everything you have. The danger of accumulating wealth is the danger of corruption. You begin to associate with that class of the elite, the economic elite. You begin to like it, and you begin to hedge your statements and your critiques in order not to be expelled from that class. That's the danger of wealth. But if you can continue...
He looks pretty wealthy. Dude, come on. This man literally serves his remaining days educating prisoners, okay? Calm down. I don't give a fuck that he goes on RT. I don't give a fuck that his some of his takes are inconsistent or ridiculous or outright silly. I don't care. I like his defense of Glenn Greenwald, who makes like literally, I think, $250,000 a month, or no, more than that actually. Glenn Greenwald's Substack makes him like $1 million a month or some shit like that. Like Glenn Greenwald makes significantly more money than I do on a monthly basis from his Substack. It's kind of weird since you are the same and Glenn and Taibbi fell off and went right wing. Yeah, I know, but he thinks that that's like truthful because there's agreements there. Okay? He agrees with some of the things that, as an older guy, he agrees with some of the fucking things that Matt Taibbi and Glenn Greenwald say about like wokeness and woke culture. He's never heard me talk about it or criticize it. He's only seen me as the guy who buys a fucking house.
Confronting injustice and with the understanding that you may be expelled from that class and may be hurt economically, then you can remain untainted. I know Jimmy. I agree with much of what Jimmy says. I honestly don't care what kind of house he lives in. I don't even know if he makes money. If he does make money, great. If he doesn't, but I don't think he's sold out. All of this is really petty and irrelevant and is deflecting attention from the real enemy, which is corporate capitalism, and essentially disemboweling our allies. It makes no sense unless your goal is not to actually confront power, but elevate yourself as a moral exemplar. And that's what this really is about.
Wait, did he actually, didn't he talk about, am I misremembering? I thought he was like, no, he didn't mention me in this, but I'm pretty sure he did in the rest of it. That was clip chimped. He actually says it's ridiculous to pocket watch, but Bree labeled you in such a bad light before that clip, which led him to say that without even knowing who you are, you should watch the full episode rather than what she put out on YouTube. Oh, this is what she said. Just finished recording our 100th Bad Faith app with Professor Wolf, Kristlyn Hedges, and about Hasan the Hunt's house, whether there's an ethical maximum income, and how to get the left out of his circular firing squad. Yeah. Anyway. That was many, many years ago when I first originally bought the house. Look, in 2021. 2020 is many, many years ago now. Many things have changed, but some things have not.